Hello everybody. For the first time in a long time, we are back here with another episode of Dinosaur Island Season 2. This one is the Great Migration. After 2 episodes worth of spring, summer is finally officially here. But it's hardly like any summer before. This summer may be warm, but there's no sign of sun. It's overcast and very windy. And it is very dry. It hasn't rained in almost 3 months on Dinosaur Island. And the animals are probably going to have to migrate across this side of the island to find water and food. But it is not just the weather that is freaking out the land's animals. The dinosaurs themselves are starting to act up. Uno's mate, Maggie, is showing extremely bizarre behavior. She's staying away from the rest of the Styracosaurs and plant eaters on the plains. And she is not moving or eating much. Even Uno, her lifelong mate, can't figure out what the issue is. But with this severe water shortage, the animals can't stay here. So Maggie better get on her feet, 'cause it's time for a great migration. There's not been a large migration on this side of the island for a while. Even on the other side of the island, as we know, the brachiosaurs are the only species that ever migrate. But on this side of the island, it's even rarer. This is a severe time. A time where drastic measures must be taken to survive. Predators. All sorts of predators. As you can see, this is Silas. He is stalking the herd, waiting for one of the animals to get tired and drop from the exhaustion of this long, long walk. Silas is only one of many predators to come. For now, him and his fellow meat eaters are biding their time. All the animals are migrating together, and none of them have shown any signs of being tired. Even Maggie is keeping up very well with the herd. But one animal is starting to lag behind. One arm. She's keeping up with the herd okay, but her injury is starting to wear on her. Her survival is at serious stake, and the chances of her living are not very good ones. Nonetheless, the herd continues without stopping. But even in these hard times, life still finds a way. A nest from some sort of dinosaur is about to be raided by the king of nest raiders. Sunny, the male oviraptor. Oviraptor means egg thief, but this information is not the most accurate. When they first discovered Oviraptor, they found eggs nearby. They turned out to be the Oviraptor's egg, and that it was a female protecting her own nest. Nonetheless, eggs would have made a wonderful meal for a small predator. Right as he's trying to break into one, the mother of the nest returns. It is a large female Parasaurolophus, and she is not happy. The mother returns to the nest, victorious. The herd finds a riverbed, but it is dried up. This may not be good for the plant eaters, but for the meat eaters, there's still hope. This is a small female velociraptor named Jackie. She is going to dig for a dead fish in the ground. It is hardly packed because of the dryness, but her sharp toe claws make quick work of the thick soil. But after almost 10 minutes of digging, she cannot find a thing. The herd moves steadily. They are literally a dinosaur caravan. Something is shaking. The earth is shaking. Tremors are starting to hit this area. An earthquake is beginning to spell disaster for the dinosaurs. The cliff is starting to erode with every shake. And the dinosaurs are very close to the cliff. Ian is starting to lose his footing and is barely hanging on to the edge of the cliff. Nobody seems to notice poor Ian and keep trying to move away and find their footing during this time of earthquake. Except for one individual. One arm hears Ian's distress calls and answers them. She moves over to the edge of the cliff, where Ian is almost going to fall. Slowly she moves towards him, and their fingers lock. And she begins to pull. Right as she begins to pull him up, another tremor hits. She begins to reach out her hand again, and she grabs him and bites into his spines on his back and begins to pull him up. She finally hauls him on to the edge of the cliff. But then they look around them and see that the herd is very far away. They must move fast to catch up with it. But the herd is not waiting for them. Finally, after a lot of running, they catch up. But Uno hears his mate Maggie calling for him. She is just suddenly stopped. He goes over to investigate. Maggie seems to be struggling with something. She's crying in what sounds like a small bit of pain. She lays an egg in the middle of a migration where there is no water or place to make a nest. This is the worst place for an egg to be laid. Although most herds would care less and know that it would attract predators and just leave it, Uno is too good-hearted for this. He tries to pick up the egg in his mouth, but he can't. He will be forced to leave it. But then, he has an idea. He just barely picks it up and flips it around and locks it in his crown of horns. It's not the most sturdy of situations, but it should work for now. But the herd is being stalked by a pack of killers, or more specifically, one member of the herd is being stalked by this pack of velociraptors. This is the lead male, Styx, his mate, Jackie, and their klutzy and ignorant little baby, Fred. Styx moves in for the kill, and then he attacks. Styx claws at the side of one arm. Then Jackie attacks. The velociraptors have alas killed one arm. However, in the progress made by the herd, they have found themselves in much greener grass. Uno thinks he sees something. It looks like a lush land. A wonderful, lush land. Finally, he has found a reason to take charge and a reason to stop. But first, he must lead the herd to this wonderful place of beautiful greenery. Slowly, the herd follows him. One by one, they move closer and closer to the trees. But as they move closer, the trees, the fantasy, begins to fade into reality. What they thought was lovely, lush trees and forest was really just nothing but an illusion, a mirage. Something is shaking. At first, the herd panics and thinks that it's another earthquake. It isn't. This is how Uno sees. A huge herd of Brachiosaurus tramples through the grass. The herd is frozen in their tracks when they see these titans. The two herds pass. Our herd departs from the herd of Brachiosaurus. The herd continues to travel for days, for weeks. Finally, after 2 months of traveling, they find themselves at the edge of a forest, a land of plenty, where they will now live their lives. It has water and plants, and no major predators. It is perfect, except for one thing. Next time, after Uno and Maggie's egg hatches, everything seems to be happy and great in the new land of plenty. But then things turn for the worst. When the plant eaters discover that the predators followed them. Next time on Dinosaur Island.